Hey Narwhals, Luke Narwhal here coming at you with another video. How do you honestly feel about the fat acceptance movement? Do you think it is healthy, or is it doing more harm than good? If you haven't subscribed yet, our subscribers are known as the Narwhals, inspired by the brave unicorn of the sea. I'd encourage you to subscribe to join the original 10,000 Narwhals. Now let's jump right in. It is good to love yourself. However, it is because you love yourself that you should strive to be healthy. Yes, as someone who lost 55 pounds last year, I did it because I accepted myself as someone who deserved to be healthy, not because I hated myself. That's what fat acceptance used to be about. In the beginning, if you're currently fat, love yourself, and if you want to lose weight, there are positive and healthy ways to do it. But in the meantime, love yourself. Emphasize the syllables as such: fat acceptance versus today's fat acceptance. See, I've pretty much started to see this as two different things. There's a difference in my mind between loving who you are and an entire movement that's based around changing society to accept that people take in more calories than they spend. They're pushing for society to just accept the fact that some people are going to be fat no matter what. Most people don't believe it's a choice that's made, but that you're born to be fat. I'm all for people not hating who they are as a person and being able to proudly say they love who they are, but fat isn't who they are. Fat is unhealthy. For the most of society, fat isn't beautiful either. How often do you read someone's paragraph they wrote out about how they're fat and beautiful? If it was really true, then it would be ridiculous to have to write stuff like that out. It seems more like they're telling everyone that they have to find them attractive, otherwise they'll get a verbal lashing and how you're a shallow a-hole/B. And be honest, how often do you see that? It's all over. I'd personally join a movement tomorrow if it was all about people accepting who they are, but I can't sit idly by while people push for everyone to accept and find fat beautiful. While no one should be bullied or fat shamed, they also shouldn't be encouraged to think it's a good thing to carry so much excess weight either. Agreed. If they were just anti-fat shaming, I'd be on board. However, fat acceptance activists like to cherry-pick medical studies and downplay the serious health effects associated with obesity, which is messed up. Agree wholeheartedly. I'm sure people's hearts are in the right place, but medically they're not doing people any favors by pretending it's okay. The problem is, this movement has made it so even implying someone is unhealthy is now considered fat shaming. I'm overweight and have upvoted every comment saying that being fat is not healthy. Obviously it's not. Smoking isn't healthy, and you wouldn't listen to someone with a stoma say otherwise. But the Reddit way of going about telling someone they're unhealthy isn't like having a kind heart-to-heart with a close friend. Just read through this thread. See the many subreddits dedicated to making fun of fat people. Control F whale or pig or ham, edit, open up the subthreads and there's a goldmine of hate, and you'll see what I mean. There's a difference between implying someone is unhealthy and writing them off as a whale. I completely agree. I'm 6 foot 2 inches and 275 pounds. Whenever someone tells me that it's okay for me to be overweight and I shouldn't feel like I have to lose weight, I just look them dead in the eye and say, bullcrap. Same, except I was pushing 315. In 6 months, I'm down to 260. All I did was change my diet and start walking for about an hour every few days. I still eat pretty badly, but now I do that about once a week instead of daily. I love me my fast food though. Taco Bell is love, Taco Bell is life. It only becomes a problem for me when they start skinny shaming. I thought this movement was about body positivity. It just seems that a lot of them aren't very body positive at all and are actually so insecure that they need to tear others down to build themselves up. Perfect example, effing Meghan Trainor. Her song is actually pretty offensive to thin people. Also, being a little overweight is cool, but there's nothing mexy about weighing in at 300 to 400 pounds plus. So don't kid yourselves. It's repulsive and no one should ever let themselves get to that sort of state. What personally bothers me is that this movement has basically co-opted the term woman, as in you aren't womanly or a real woman without a significant amount of meat on your bones. And they don't mean curvy with a slim waist and healthy weight either. If you look at advertising for stores like Lane Bryant, this kind of language is used constantly, and even though their models generally don't qualify as morbidly obese, those models aren't representative of the customers any more than size 0 runway models are representative of shoppers at other stores. Most mid-high-end department stores have rebranded their plus-size clothing sections as women's apparel, whereas clothing in the standard size range is misses or ladies. This caused no small amount of confusion among the male shoppers buying gifts for their wives and girlfriends when I worked in retail. Having been at both ends of the spectrum, I was in the 110 range in high school, got close to 200 pounds for many years, and then back down to 120, the skinny shaming is especially hurtful. I worked hard to lose 80 pounds, and now I'm being told that I have an eating disorder by social media and advertisers. Even when I was in the process of losing weight, coworkers would tell me to eat something and follow me into the bathroom because they thought I was bulimic. Being told I'm too skinny when I'm at a healthy weight for my height only made me more hyper aware of my body and any normal fluctuations in weight. Loving yourself is fine, but telling me I'm not a real woman because I'm not carrying 20 extra pounds isn't either. I can't believe anyone would actually follow someone else into the bathroom expecting that they puke up their lunch. That's just taking bumholery to a whole new level. It's okay to be concerned, I guess, but to the point where you're invading someone else's personal space is just harassment. Congrats on your loss. A total joke. If you want to be fat because you have no willpower, I don't care, it's your body. But don't act like being fat is a good thing and push your bullcrap on others. I used to be the fat kid all of my life, was around 110 kilograms, 230 odd pounds for the Americans when I was 17 and hovering around 80 to 85 kilos now, 19. I can't imagine my life without the gym. It's my favorite part of the day, so I personally know how horrible it is to be fat. I feel you. I came from an overweight family where being fat was acceptable and my mom would shame me if I tried to better myself or cut back portion sizes. She made it difficult to keep on any workout or diet plan, and at my worst, I weighed probably close to 220, 230 pounds at 5'8" in grade 10. Frig fat acceptance because I was unhappy and out of shape. By grade 12, I'd gone back under 200 and started wildfire fighting the summer after, and now I'm happy, confident, and in much better shape. Anyone who propagates this bullcrap should just keep stuffing their mouth or try being fit and they'd see the difference for themselves. Congratulations, it really does feel good to be a good size/fit after a long time. I know this is a cliche, but it's not just about looking good. I used to be tired all the time and have trouble going to sleep. Weird, I know. And now it doesn't happen anymore. Reform fat guy here. It's not helpful and it's a symptom of this movement to eradicate standards. Being overweight is simply not conducive to robust physical or mental health. People are generally heavy because they ingest low-quality and chemical-laden foods out of habit or boredom. Most of these people have never experienced true hunger and simply plug eating in at intermittent times throughout the day with no thought to quality, necessity, and content. The thought of weight loss seems an impossibility to so many. Once dietary restrictions are anticipated, most simply give up. The human body is resilient and very, very strong. Your palate will reset, allowing you to enjoy the taste and texture of natural foods as your body molds into the shape that nature intended. Mental acuity and self-image improve in addition to confidence and overall happiness. We should always endeavor to improve ourselves and never accept anything that we can change for the better. That was put perfectly. I've always been active and I try to eat healthy. Because of this, I've always been thin. Nothing pisses me off more than when someone says, "You're naturally skinny, you're so lucky." No, I'm not naturally skinny. I messed up my leg last year and couldn't run for a couple of weeks. I didn't, however, change what I ate. Obviously, I gained weight, so I adjusted what I put into my body and fixed the problem. Everyone can maintain a healthy weight if they work hard. I think that the concept of accepting people for who they are is just the right thing to do. That being said, I don't think that fat acceptance means lifestyle acceptance. Just because you accept someone for who they are doesn't mean you embrace all that they are. Some people smoke, some people have weight issues, some people are closed-minded. You don't hate people for these things, but you also don't love them. You simply accept them. Agreed. If you want to be fat, know you're fat and are okay with it, then by all means, I'm happy that you're happy. But don't try and tell me that it is better to be fat than skinny simply because you aren't. And for God's sake, don't tell me it's genetic, because it isn't all genetic. At least have the decency to admit that you overeat and don't exercise. If I meet someone who is overweight, I don't judge them until they open their mouth and talk about how they can't lose weight while they eat fast food all day. My perspective as a future former fat person, being fat is not good, but it is also more than just a product of laziness and poor willpower. If a parent raised their kid as a smoker from age 3 onward, it would be very obvious that this child is going to have a hard time quitting nicotine. Food, especially bad food, gives our brain many of the same pleasure responses as addictive drugs. So basically, what I wish for every future fat child is that they don't have to develop the same anxieties and self-confidence issues that I had to struggle with, that they aren't seen as a social pariah, but at the same time, understand that being fat, for social and health reasons, is not okay. Every time I see an obese kid, I feel so friggin' bad because I know they've hardly got a chance. Those food/endorphin pathways are so hardwired into them now that they're basically fighting an addiction that society both condones and encourages. The irony is that I had a totally different upbringing where I was denied unhealthy food. It was a treat only for special occasions. The upshot was as soon as I got out from home, I began to eat this treat food whenever I wanted. Combine that with the period of serious mental health problems, and it didn't take long for me to balloon up. Basically, it's really friggin' hard to raise a kid that makes the right nutritional choices. You have to be so careful. And that brings us to the end, narwhals. If you made it till the end, I'd encourage you to tap the thumbs up button below. That really helps us grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, our subscribers are known as the narwhals, inspired by the brave unicorn of the sea. I'd encourage you to subscribe to join the original 10,000 narwhals, and so you don't miss future videos like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave, be a narwhal.